Rage on that beat, going crazy. Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Welcome, everybody, again to the Stadia Monday Night Chat with me, your host, of course. Yay! It's Clive. Let me check everything's working over there. It is. Oh, I've even got the mixer thing going up there. The mixer thing. Mixer, Microsoft Mixer. Microsoft Mixer. Mixer, Microsoft. There we are. There's for your drinking game, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, chat. How are you all? Welcome. We're just waiting for a few people from the Stadia Dosage nightly rant. Come on, everybody. I hope you're all good on the Monday night. Of course, it's 10 p.m. It's Monday night. It's Crackerjack. No, it's Stadia Monday Night Chat with me, your host, of course, Clive Illenden, as I take you down the yellow brick road to the land of Stadia. I hope you're all well. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me on the premium Stadia podcast on the interwebs. Yes, I'm saying it. Some Stadia podcasts may inform you. Some may educate you. And I dare say one or two may entertain you. But my Stadia brethren, the Stadia Monday Night Chat is the only one that delivers all of that in one handy package. Yes, this podcast is a triple threat, baby. Tonight and every Monday night, you will be informed, educated, and entertained. I thank you. enough of that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, enough of that. How are we all doing? I hope you're all well. I hope you're good. I hope you're feeling excellent. Chat overlay looks much better. Oh, where's it gone? I don't know. It just popped up there. It did look good. I forgot I had it on. To be honest. Right. Okay then. Remember, folks, hit those likes, subscribe if you're new, tell your friends about it, and we'll get this show on the road. So, ladies and gentlemen, games. Games that you've been playing. Let me know in the chat, what have you been playing? What have you been playing? For me, I've been playing the following games. Let's have a look. I've been playing a bit of... let's get that. Yeah, so I've been playing a bit of Little Nightmares, of course. There we are. Let's just get it over a bit with a bit of excitement, shall we? Yeah, so Little Nightmares. I've been playing a lot of Little Nightmares. Well, I finished Little Nightmares, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, it's a beautiful looking game, but I tell you what, it is twisted. I mean, it made me jump in places. It's not like a Guilt. I mean, yeah, I guess it's sort of, it's darker than Guilt. Yeah, Guilt's more sort of child friendly. This is twisted. There's some moments in it that were just like, what the, oh my God. And the character designs in it, I mean, they're like, oh, I mean, it's proper nightmarish stuff. I really, really enjoyed it. And the great thing is, often with platformers, this is quite a difficult platformer. It's not one that gives you lots of clues. Like a lot of platformers will give you a clue or whatever like this. This one you have to trial a few things, you know, a bit of trial and error and stuff like that. So normally I end up sort of a quick look on YouTube, how do I do that bit? But on this game, although I was tempted now and then to do that, I stuck with it. And and of course, then you get that massive satisfaction that, you know, oh, I worked it all out by myself, big brain. So when I kind of got to the end, there were a few moments where I was like completely confused for ages and ages. But you just try things, try doors, try pulling things, no clues, but it gives you that big brain satisfaction, the big brain satisfaction for working it out all by yourself. So yeah, so I've been playing a lot of that, so that was quite good. I really enjoyed it. Came to the end of that. Of course, I finally also took a look at Super Hot as well. Again, Super Hot. What a great game Super Hot is. I really enjoyed Super Hot. I mean, a really imaginative game. I know it's been around for a long time, and I remember it was on the Xbox Game Cloud for a little while, and I never got around to playing it. And a friend of mine said, "Oh, you've got to play it," and I've wanted to play it for a long time. So I'm glad that I had the opportunity to play it on Stadia. Although it does seem very short. Of course, Jerry, welcome. Thank you. Of course, you've got to tear yourself from ESO. ESO can wait, my friend. Yeah, it did seem very short, but I guess it was designed as a VR game, and if it was much longer, you'd probably be sick if you were just stuck in your VR goggles trying to move slowly and not get shot in the head. But yeah, another great game. Let me know if you've played Super Hot or anything like that. What you thought of it. Was it a sort of game that you enjoyed? And I really enjoyed it, but I thought it was a bit short in terms of levels, but as it was, I say, originally I think developed for VR in mind. You can tell that by the look of it. I really enjoyed that. So let me know what games you've been playing. Dave Whitnell says Super Hot was class, but did it in one sitting. Yeah. I mean, I struggled a few levels to get into it, but you get into the style of it. So want to know what Twisted looks like? I'm playing Blair Witch as we speak. Ugh. Yeah. It's just some of the sort of the character drawings, the character design in Little Nightmares are just sort of horribly creepy and cringy, but in a good spooky cringy way. And finally, of course, thanks to the Stadia Pro sales. Oh yeah, I mean, excellent Stadia Pro sales this week. Plus the £10 off, I picked up Assassin's Creed Odyssey for about £16. Finally, I know I'm a bit late to that party, ladies and gentlemen, and I've been playing it through, and it does look great. It's a great game, isn't it? I mean, I can already see how this game is just it's quite involving, and you can just get lost in it. It's a sort of game, set aside a long period of time and just get lost in it. And I'm really kind of enjoying it, and sort of learning. I know there's sort of a bit of there's so much to it. But you can take your time, build on it. So I'm not even, no, who was mentioning ESO earlier, Jerry, yeah, talking ESO. I haven't even looked at ESO yet. I'm a bit sort of nervous about going to ESO just because of the complexity, and I'm sort of busy doing Assassin's Creed. Yeah, Mark says never too late to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey. No, I'm glad I've got round to it. I'm really enjoying it. I love there's some good characterizations and good story in it as well, which is fun. And you can you can go off and do as many side missions as you want, or just try and it gets too confusing for me, so I try to stick to the main story, but with a few little a sprinkling of side missions, as it were. Anyway, so that's really good. As I say, and of course, I've been doing my regular live streams of PUBG with the wonderful, wonderful Yoshida. If you haven't subscribed to my Lord Kenzel of Stadia channel, that's where I do my live streaming. I do my first looks and stuff. Make sure you do. As I say, I do first looks and I stream on a regular basis. So make sure that you subscribe to that if you haven't done already. Why don't I just put that over here? 1 second. Yeah, make sure you subscribe to the wonderful Lord Kenzel channel. News, there we go. Yeah, so this is where I do all my live streams and then put on my first looks and stuff like that. So if you haven't subscribed, I'm sure most of you have, and thank you for that. Get yourself over there and subscribe. It all helps, and it's all wonderful, and I appreciate it. And I'd love to build up my streaming channel a bit more on YouTube, considering how important streaming on YouTube is going to be, ladies and gentlemen. More on that later. Anyway, so also that reminds me, a lot of my first looks are I make available to my channel members on this channel. So on the Clive Illenden channel, if you are a member, you get to see my first looks before anybody else. They're posted on Lord Kenzel of Stadia because that's where I put my first looks, but they're sort of private. They're unlisted, and they exist only for channel members for a short period, 48 hours. So my channel members on this channel get to see my first looks before anybody else, and then I release them into the wild. So in addition to the special badges and emotes, I see many of you already using some of the emotes already that you get with being a channel member. Of course, you get exclusive vlogs, which are entirely content only for channel members as well, plus the first look 48 hours before they go public on my first looks. Loads of other stuff. So if you fancy some of that, smash that join button. Come and join the Shokyu and Chokyu members. Which reminds me, I should thank a shout out to my Shokyu and Chokyu members. Where is my shout out? Oh, here we go. So quick shout out. There we are to my channel members this month. Big shout out for you guys. Really appreciate it. Hope you are enjoying the extra content, etc., etc. So thank you very much. I'm really grateful. I know it means a lot. We live in tight times, so I appreciate it a lot, and I hope I'm giving you some good content that other people aren't getting. Anyway, that's enough of the plugs. Arigato gozaimasu, as we say. Arigato gozaimasu. Anyway, on to the news this week, ladies and gentlemen. Silly Stelios says he loves my PUBG streams. Thank you. Brian H88 says Crew 2 is a must-have. I struggled with Crew 2. Jerome, thank you, my friend. Hit the likes indeed. Yeah. I struggled with Crew 2. I've tried it on Xbox and I didn't get on it. I gave another go with Stadia and maybe I need another go. I just not very good at it, full stop. So it's the only game I've refunded on Stadia, but I was a bit skeptical about it anyway because I'd tried it on Xbox and didn't have a good time on it. So anyway, so the news. So I'd written my script, or at least, what I was going to say today on the news stuff and all that, but that's sort of been blown out the way by the big announcement today from Microsoft, which you say, well, this is about Stadia. What's that going to do with it? Well, it does have an impact, ladies and gentlemen. So Mixer is closing down. Okay. That is massive. Mixer was an important part of the Microsoft strategy. Okay. So we know that, YouTube, Stadia and YouTube, they see that we're competing for people's eyeballs, whether they're playing games or watching people playing games. And Stadia and YouTube is planning to be that perfect integration of the two. Make it easy for you to stream games to YouTube, make it easy for people watching YouTube to jump in and play the games or buy the games just by clicking buttons. We know this is of massive strategic importance. Game streaming, i.e. playing games, so like Twitch and Mixer, are really, really important. That's why Microsoft bought Beam, which was the original Mixer, because they knew they had to build out a game streaming platform, where people could play games and stream that gameplay. They knew that was really important and part of their strategy, and they put a lot of money into Mixer. And recently they've aggressively signed up your Shroud and obviously Ninja, the biggest sort of streamer in the world, effectively, if not by numbers, by reputation, and they signed them up. So they've been acting really aggressively. So this is big news, because this is Microsoft realizing that Mixer is not where it needs to be, right now. And they need it to be, they need to have made more inroads into Twitch than I think they have. They thought they could do it by signing up these people. But I don't think the growth is happening fast enough for them. And they're cutting their losses here. I have seen on a recent podcast that this is some amazing chess move. I hate to break it to you, this is not a chess move. It could turn out to be an amazing chess move, but it's a move brought on by desperation. Mixer wasn't working in terms of getting the market share that it needed to get to be ready for when Xbox want to kind of have Project X Cloud launch that. And so you have the same strategic relationship between Project X Cloud and Mixer. So you play the games, you watch people playing the games, you can kind of jump between the two. They wanted that. We know that Amazon owns Twitch. When Amazon brings out Project Tempo, you'll have Project Tempo and Twitch beautifully linked together. We know YouTube. They know they get a lot of hours of people watching YouTube in terms of pre-recorded stuff, but not the live streaming, because like this live streaming, I'm going to be streaming here for an hour. That's a lot of watch time. Whereas when you upload a video, you might upload a video that's 15, 20 minutes. That long watch time is key. And Twitch has that. That has that long, people are streaming for 6 hours. YouTube want that, and they're aggressively moving that way. Stadia is part of that strategy. And we'll see those Stadia, we know the Stadia features are coming, and we'll see them integrated. This may encourage, this move by Mixer here, or this decision by Mixer may encourage YouTube to sort of aggressively move more aggressively down that live streaming route. But we know they're doing it already. They've signed up PewDiePie, who's on their channel anyway, the biggest, but to stream, specifically to stream exclusively on YouTube. They've signed Laserbeam as well, 20 million subs, Fortnite streamer, really, really popular, but they've signed him exclusively as well. They signed up the Overwatch League. They signed up another league. I can't remember what it is. But they did that thing with Blizzard anyway. So we know YouTube already making aggressive moves towards that way. Someone knows there. We know that YouTube are making aggressive move towards that live streaming and how important it is. This has created a massive opportunity for YouTube and Twitch. The biggest streamers, or the big signings that they made, of course, were, amongst others, were Ninja and Shroud. And they left Twitch, which was shocking at the time, to go because they got a big check, a guaranteed check, to go to Mixer. They knew the audience on Mixer was smaller, but they got a guaranteed income. And if you're a streamer, having a guaranteed income is great. You're sorted. You don't have to worry about anything then. Now, they've been offered the opportunity to go to Facebook Gaming, which Mixer basically is joining up with Facebook Gaming. Basically what's happening is they're closing Mixer, but they need a strategic partnership to make up for it. And they've done this deal with Facebook Gaming, who we know are aggressively moving down the streaming way. They've added a new kind of app to their kind of family of apps, Facebook Gaming. So Mixer had to do something. I couldn't just kill off the Mixer service and do nothing. So they've made this decision. Now, this decision is massive on a number of scales. They didn't tell any of their Mixer partners this was happening. So their Mixer partners are annoyed, pissed to say the least. Okay? Which is not very good, because it means a lot of them may well jump ship. And the only ships worth sailing, despite what people may say, the only ships worth sailing are Twitch or YouTube. YouTube because they'll put money up front and tell them about their strategy. Twitch because it's so well established. And there will be bidding wars going on. Now, Shroud and Ninja have turned down the offer to go to Facebook Gaming, which in itself says something about the credibility of Facebook Gaming. And that's the honest truth about it. They've been paid off in full. So I understand. So and this is what some people on Twitch who know them are saying. They've been paid off in full for their contracts for Mixer. This is how sudden it was. This is not a strategic move by Mixer. This was a loss leader that is losing too much money. They've made a bold decision. I mean, credit to Microsoft. It's difficult to make big decisions like this sometimes, but effectively they've cut it off. Yeah, they've cut this off, dropped it off, had to scramble something strategically to make up for it. They didn't tell their staff until today. The staff had no idea. And their partners had no idea. That's how kind of dramatic it is. So Shroud and Ninja ain't going to Facebook Gaming because they've already turned that down. So we're led to believe, which means that there basically will be a bidding war between Twitch and YouTube to get their services. Those two are laughing all the way to the bank. They've been paid once and keep all the money, and now they're going to get paid twice and there'll be a bidding war for them. It's crazy. Anyway, so it's exciting times. As others, I think Chase mentioned as well, Google have to react. I don't think they have to react because this is a chess move. This is slightly out of desperation on Mixer's point of view, but Google have to react on the basis that this is an opportunity. When you see a weakness or a potential weakness, you jump in. And Twitch and YouTube are going to be doing that. So there we go. That's I've got a soft spot for Mixer, to be honest, because it allowed you to stream direct from Xbox straight onto Mixer. You can do it on Twitch as well, but I prefer Twitch was too crowded. And as a sort of a guy who's trying to struggle to get into streaming, Mixer seemed a slightly more friendlier place. It turns out, staff-wise, which is a different issue that's been going on, bubbling under. They've had some HR issues, put it that way, on a senior level and how they treat diversity within the company. But that's a different issue. But on the front of it, most of the Mixer partners feel it's a much less toxic place than Twitch. And I enjoyed my time. I streamed Sea of Thieves a lot on Mixer and I really enjoyed it on that. doing that. So I do have a soft spot for Mixer, but Mixer, resquient e pascant, as they say, rest in peace, as they say, rest in peace. It is over. And bravo on Microsoft making that difficult decision. Let me know what you think in the chat. Let's have a quick look here. Much prefer long videos, either live or pre-recorded, not into these 12-min videos. Hey, Dave, there's a place for 12-min videos. Check my videos. They're informative, instructional. But yeah, I enjoy doing live streams. Live streams are cool, man. We like that. YouTube needs to work on its interface. True. There's a lot more that you can do, or you could do in Mixer and Twitch and stuff. But I'm sure that will come. I can get alerts and stuff like that, but they need a few more. Yeah, they need a few more buttons and things that you can get involved in, to be honest, with YouTube. And I'm sure they'll do that, especially with Stadia coming. And we've already seen that they're going to build in some buttons into Stadia to make that process easy. That's all it is. It's making it easy. Lowland Profits, salute Stadians, salute. Mark says this cloud competition's heating up. This is a good day for cloud gaming consumers. I think so. I think it's an opportunity. It's like what's that game? Oh, that my son used to play, where you eat the circles. IO, something. What was it? Where your little circle gets eaten by a bigger circle, and then that bigger circle gets eaten by a bigger circle. That's what's going on here. I need that Avengers game. I'll be on day 1. Yeah. Feel free to add me if I get it. Definitely. Okay, you're meeting up on the Avengers game. Anyway, so that news sort of blasted through a few things. I won't go into it, but it's a big decision. I think it's the right one. As I say, playing the games and watching the games, we'll start seeing a symbiotic. Told you I'm informing and educating you. A symbiotic relationship between those two functions. As I've said many times before on this stream, that Reed Hastings, the CEO of Netflix, said his biggest competitor was Fortnite. Yeah, because this is not about whether you watch television, whether you play games, whether you stream, whether you watch streams. This is just about getting people's attention, and whether that's playing games, watching Netflix, whatever. That's who everybody is vying for. People's eyeballs for a long period of time. Stay in our ecosystem. Netflix wants you to stay in their ecosystem. Fortnite wants you to stay in their ecosystem. YouTube wants them to stay in your ecosystem. That's what it's all about. It's not games competing against games companies, television competing against television companies. They're all competing against each other for our time. So that's the thing to bear in mind. Anyway. Let's get back to the Stadia news. That's what you're here all for. God, Clive, shut up about bloody Mixer. We know. It's important, children. It's important. Right, let's get back to the Stadia news, though. So we've got Wave Break, ladies and gentlemen. Wave Break coming on June the 23rd, which is tomorrow. So UK time, that will be in the evening. I think it's about 6 o'clock in the evening. In the UK time. What do we think? I know loads and loads of my fellow podcasters and streamers in the world of Stadia have got their pass keys to this and been trying it out in the background, as it were. But they're, of course, embargoed until its official release. So we'll see lots of streams tomorrow. It kind of looks cool, to be honest. Whether I buy it straight away, I don't know, but it does kind of look cool to me. Let me know what you think. 6 p.m. says Batman. Yeah, Mark. Look now. Yep, 6 p.m. tomorrow. A skateboard. It's a skate boating. I love that. Skate boating game. There was in a classic arcade style with guns, yeah. Skate game with guns. What more could you want? Elements of your favourite games. A little splash of Tony Hawk, Pro Skater. Love those. Like SSX Tricky and stuff like that. Rocket League, Wave Race 64, and FPS mechanics to create a unique game. We do regular play sessions on our Twitch and YouTube channels. This, I think this is going to be a fun game. It looks fun. Do we know what the price is going to be? I'm sure I saw it somewhere. We'll see. We'll see what price it's going to be. The other thing, of course, arriving on the 1st of July is a pro game. This is very exciting. Free on Stadia Pro, Crater. And if you don't know, some of the Stadia community are going to do a 48-hour build a gaming Crater session. So that's something to look forward to. I'm going to be involved. Don't know what that means, but there you go. But hopefully we're going to build a game over 48 hours. So that should be quite interesting. Looking forward to that. And of course, the exciting thing here, which feeds into a bit about what I was talking about, Mixer and YouTube and Stadia and integration. We start seeing state share, which one of the key big $29, says Dave Widnall. Would that be end about 25 quid to us then in UK money? Or do you reckon they'll just do it like for like, $29, £29, as they normally do? Okay, if it's like 20, 25 pounds, maybe I will. But anyway, so Crater is free to Stadia Pro members, of course, and in it will feature the state share beta, where you can simply create a link. Here we go. Create a link. There we go. Boop. So you simply create a link, share it, and it's such a cool feature. We knew that feature was coming, but now we'll be able to kind of see it in action. And this is ideal because I know certain people are going to be creating amazing games on Fortnite. Again, as an example, in Fortnite Creative, people make, which this looks a bit like in terms of its styling and stuff, but people make amazing mini games in Fortnite Creative and then show them on YouTube and then challenge people to they do like speed runs and obstacle courses and parkour type things and stuff like that. Build them out in Fortnite Creative, play them on YouTube, and then say, okay, here's the link, or sign into my account or whatever, or I've created the Fortnite Creative Island, whatever. Here's the link to it. Go into Fortnite, find it, and I challenge you to beat my my timed run. And it's really, really popular. And a bit like this is that people will be able to build these amazing games, set up challenges, get people to go in, add stuff. That's the perfect combination of that symbiotic relationship between streaming on YouTube, people playing games, and then jumping in and playing those games. So watching people play the games, jump in and play the games with them. So very exciting, and I look forward to it. I don't know how creative or good I'd be at building a game. They say here, start simple. Keep it simple is what they say. And then what they've tried to do, here we are. Yeah. This is the interesting bit here. On one hand, we have starter games, which gives players directions with a simple game. I like that. You sort of start with a base game and then tweak the things that you need and just slowly build up. So there's Vault Heist, which is a capture the flag game. I love capture the flag games. You get capture the flag on Destiny 2. You get capture the flag in Overwatch. So you get that and then add things, change things. So you don't have to be, you could learn to program in the code. You can use your controller and drop and click and drop, or you can start off with an existing game and then build on it. I think it's going to be interesting, and I think there are some really creative people in the Stadia community, and I think we're going to see some amazing, fun games that is so easy to share. That's the beauty. Creating the games is one thing, but the ease with which you can share those games is the other. So that's the exciting thing with that. Elder Scrolls Online, of course, came here free with Stadia. Of course, that launched last week. I know loads and loads of people are excited. As I said, I haven't ventured into it. I'm a bit I don't know where to start. Is it worth watching some videos on where to go? Some of that news, yeah, on where to go and what to do. I need like or do I just jump in? What do we reckon? Chat, do I just jump in and go with it? Who knows? But as I say, I haven't looked yet. I've seen some mixed reviews of it. So there's a YouTuber I watch called Mark Watts. Some of you might know it. He's done a review on cloud gaming and stuff like that. And he said he jumped in on the Stadia thing with his friends. He's not a massive fan of Stadia. He plays the old shtick that, Stadia, ha ha ha. Not as bad as most people, but I think he had a bad time with Stadia at the beginning, and it sort of spoilt his view of it, his perspective of it. So he's not a massive fan of Stadia, but he said he jumped in it and he said it was awful. So I don't know. I did, Kevin Webb, yes, thank you, Bill. I did see that thing from Stadia Cast. Is it worth it? Because I don't think I sort of jump in and then make the wrong decision. Dave Widnall says just jump in. Yeah, what if I make the wrong decision? Like when I jumped into Sea of Thieves, I chose a big fat pirate, and then you couldn't change it. You can change it now, pay money to change it, but I like my big fat pirate in Sea of Thieves. What am I talking about? Okay. So yeah, or maybe I'll watch that Bill from the Stadia Cast thing. But yeah, but who's played it? Have people found it? Are they disappointed in it? They found it. Some people said it doesn't play very well on Stadia. Again, these are people who aren't massive fans of Stadia, so I take it with a massive pinch of salt. I'm used to jumping in. I'm doing okay, says Kevin. ESO's very large, complex game can take up all your gaming. I know. I'm already stuck with Assassin's Creed. Maybe I will. I've got my account with them. Yeah, I set that up online, thanks to Rock's sort of advice. I've already sort of gone online and set up my account, ready to roll when I jump into the actual game. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Meanwhile, okay, so that's the main stuff from the Stadia community blog. But of course, that's not all the news, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, I have to, we'll talk briefly there. Nothing, this is not, not as big as everybody will make out, of course, but yeah. Cyberpunk's been delayed again. Here's the official press release. So again, I'm not going to any news reports on it. I'm just going to the official press release which they shared. Decided to move the launch of Cyberpunk 2077 from September the 17th to November the 19th. All they're doing is say the launch. So that window launch, I think, they're just picking it up. Stadia unlikely to arrive day and date and moving it along. Now, the only thing worth considering is whether the gap between the Stadia version and the launch version pushes it into 2021, which I think is a missed opportunity because people have less money in January. And potentially means they miss out on the Thanksgiving promotions. Because I always said that, if I thought the Stadia might, if they were releasing on September the 17th, the Stadia version might come out by November the 25th or by Thanksgiving. Because after that, the sort of market dies down a bit. Well, you have a lot of Christmas stuff, but that's in terms of hitting the market. You want to be in place by the end of November to maximize that Christmas market and the buzz around it. So I'm dubious whether the Stadia version will still make it by the end of the year, because you can wipe off the last 2 weeks of December. So it only gives the Stadia version effectively, I'd say 4 weeks, I'd probably say 3 weeks in which to deliver after the November 19th. After that, I think they'll push it a bit further into 2021, which would be a big shame, I think. Maybe they have caught up some time on the Stadia version by then, a bit more. Who knows? And we might be pleasantly surprised. You know, they may have shortened that gap over the period of time. Whether they've shortened it all the way, so we get day and day, I'm doubtful. I'm doubtful about that, to be honest. So it'll be interesting. Will it launch this year on Stadia, or just because of the new launch window, get pushed into January? I hope not. Personally, I hope not. Another news as well. Doom 2016 I saw today. I don't have the source here, unfortunately, so I can't. You're going to have to take my word for it. But Doom 2016 got a certification in, I'm not sure which country. It wasn't a US or the UK, but has recently passed its certification for release on Stadia. So Doom 2016 looks like it's finally. Doom 2016 was the game they tested on it. I just don't understand why they've not released it. Maybe it will be a pro game. Could be a July pro game or an August pro game. But it looks like it's pending anyway. Doom 2016 looks like it's pending. Look out for that one. So other news, of course. Stadia Premier Edition's taking a price cut. For some reason, they've still got the old thing up here. Oh, this is on Stadia Source, sorry. Stadia Source. A lot of these news stories come from Stadia Source, your number one source for breaking Stadia news. Got to support these guys. Here, the Stadia Premier Edition, £89.99. I'm tempted by that. Let me know what you think, chat. Spain. Dave Widnall says it was Spain, I think. Yeah, Spain or Portugal or Brazil. That's a lot. I've not narrowed it down. Maybe it was Spain. I saw a Twitter. Somebody on Twitter shared it. That's where I saw it. Anyway, the Stadia Premier Edition. If I was I don't know if I'm in the mood for another Chromecast Ultra. I could stick it on this TV. It's just I stream from this monitor here, which means I'd have to get an Elgato to stream from the CCU, and I like streaming from the browser because it's just easy. And I did wanted a new controller, so I'm sort of tempted, or do I just go for the new controller and forget about the Chromecast Ultra? Especially considering the new Chromecast. What's it called? Not Sandra. Oh, what is the new Chromecast called? Sabrina, before I even look it up. Sabrina, I think it was called. The new Chromecast, well, it's the Chromecast. Whether it replaces the Chromecast Ultra and it just becomes known as Chromecast and streams at Ultra levels anyway, I think it's called Sabrina, is coming. Thank you, Dave. Yeah, it's Sabrina. Is coming very soon with its remote control. So maybe this is a good way to get rid of the Chromecast Ultras and make way for Sabrina. And Sabrina may well come already pumping out the 4K anyway. Silly Stelio says these are the Wasabi. I'm thinking that's what I want to get. I want to see, I don't necessarily want a white controller. I want the Wasabi. Of course I do. Arigato gozaimasu. I want the Wasabi. I want the Wasabi controller. Anyway, there we go. Is anybody going to jump in and get the Stadia Premier Edition deal? Of course, you don't get the 3 months of Stadia Pro, obviously. But if you're new, you can sign up and you get your 1 month. And if you're not new, then you just carry on with your Stadia Pro if that's the way you want to go. It's still a good deal because these cost 60, 70 quid. Chromecast Ultra on its own. So it's a pretty good deal in that regard. Maybe I will get one. Just have a spare Chromecast Ultra. Oh, I don't know. Oh, decisions. Okay, so that's a price cut. And of course, now we're getting to the big news, ladies and gentlemen. The big news. Yes, the news we've all been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. Here, look. I nearly said the 7th of the 14th. Bloody Americans. Come on. It's the wrong way round. The 14th of July, I think, is what they're trying to say here. The 14th of July, it's the Stadia Connect. Woo! I can't wait. This is going to be really good. And I'm looking forward to it. We're going to get a lot of game announcements, I know. And I know there's going to be a lot of speculation and stuff. And just temper your speculation. Just sort of sit back and just think, we know they're going to announce some big games. It's all part of the sort of the Summer of Games Festival, all part of that thing. We've seen EA Play, and we've seen the PlayStation, and we know we got Xbox come in, and people going, oh, where's the Stadia logos and all that? You know, Stadia's not mentioned anywhere. Just chill, right? Anything worth announcing is going to get announced at Stadia Connect. So we're going to see lots of games and stuff like that, and that's going to be really cool. So on that, I say we're gearing up for lots of games announcements. We're in the hype season for games, as I said, because traditionally it's E3 time. So all the big platform holders, the publishers, they're all having their big presentations. Stadia is no exception. Okay, you just got to wait your turn. Just because we have lots of announcements at the beginning, it's because they're focusing on their own stuff, you know. Stadia announcements coming 14th of July. They're going to want a big splash. They're going to have to make a big splash. We know that. So clearly they have held back others from making announcements specific about titles coming to the Stadia platform strategically. As I said before, Stadia can't dictate to a developer when a game will launch, but once they know when the game is launched, they can then go to the developer and say, do us a favor, don't mention it on our platform yet, because we want to make a big announcement about it. So that's clearly what's going to happen. We know EA, back in the last Connect, announced the 3 games, FIFA, Madden, Jedi Fallen, plus 2 other games to be announced later in the summer. This is what we're talking. This is later in the summer. So we know we're going to get some EA announcements, definitely, at this Stadia Connect. But they're not doing a Stadia Connect to make an announcement of 2 games from EA. So we know that's significant in itself, but we also know there's going to be loads of other games. So for all the naysayers about it, not seeing much about Stadia with all these other presentations going on, relax. Breathe. Why wasn't Stadia mentioned in that presentation? Or where's the Stadia logo? Chill, sit down. I am very reassured about the future of games coming to Stadia. We're not getting everything at once, okay? Of course we're not. I've discussed this a million times with you if you pay attention. The first year of Stadia, a lot of games delivering in this year were already well into development. So we're lucky for the ones that do arrive day and date or arrive at the same time. But going forward, publishing on Stadia will just be the norm, along with all the other platforms, because developers and games publishers have begun to see the reality of making sure their game is on as many platforms as possible and accessible to as many people. And that's why they're embracing a cross-platform strategy, and they're also embracing a cross-play strategy, because they know that's how people play. And if their games aren't available on different platforms, they know they're losing out. We've seen job ads for people at the likes of Capcom with porting experience, please. We've seen other job ads for people with marketing experience so they can market on the platforms including Stadia. We've seen the CEO of Take-Two say they'll continue to support cloud streaming. And most importantly, and most recently, and most perhaps encouragingly, there's an interview with EA's Chief Studios Officer, Laura Miele. Excuse me, Laura, apologise for my bad pronunciation. And what they talk about here specifically, you can read the whole article. It's in Games Industry Biz. Games Industry Biz. It talks about the technological advances and all that kind of stuff and how they're going to use it. And then they talk about here about how, where is the bit? Come on. Oh, there's a bit in here specifically about making sure the games are available as many platforms as possible. Where's the bit? I saw it earlier. No, here we are. Sorry about that. I didn't have my quote all lined up. We want players to be able to play our games where they want to, which is why we're bringing more games to more platforms, including Stadia. Yeah? Stadia, Steam, Switch, and Epic Games Store. We're also making a big push on cross-play, because we know a fundamental motivation in playing games is about connecting with friends, family who may choose to play on different consoles or platforms. The ecosystem in which we are operating has changed for the better, and we want to be everywhere players are. This is the head of EA Studios. So all those people going, no EA games on Stadia yet. Keep your Kindle dry, yeah? They're coming. It's part Stadia, along with Switch, which didn't have a good representation of EA games on it either, is now part of their strategy. Yeah, they want their games on as many platforms as possible, and they want to make them cross-play because they know people play on, Johnny's on a PlayStation, Freddie's on an Xbox, Lord Kenzel's on his Stadia, So this is very encouraging news. And of course, this news also makes me feel very, very reassured about the next bit of news, ladies and gentlemen. The next bit of news. Apex Legends. That's what I'm talking about. So, as you probably are aware, there seemed to be some announcement or some reveal that Apex Legends, one of the EA games that a number of people speculated might come to Stadia, remember the 2 games that we know are going to be announced, that are coming to Stadia from EA in the summer. Many people, including myself, speculated it might be Apex games. There was an article in the Washington Post, which I think Chase picked up mid-live podcast, lucky man, in which they said, let's get it up. So there was this article in the Launcher, which is part of the Washington Post, where they were talking about the EA Play Live. So this is where I'm talking about the presentations that everybody's giving. Yeah. Specifically revealing the games and stuff like that. So this was EA's version of it. And in this, they mentioned that it was going to come. So Apex Legends is going to come to Switch and it's coming to Steam. And they were told in a presser, in a briefing before the presentation, that it was coming to Stadia. But then they backtracked on it. Just shut these down a minute. So then they backtracked on it. Before I go to the bit where they backtracked. Yeah. And somebody asked them on Twitter, so the lead writer, here he is. Chase, somebody. The one and only Chase asked the lead writer at the Washington Post, or of the Launcher at the Washington Post, and he says, hey there, Launcher editor here. So this is after Chase had found out, read it in the Washington Post, that they'd been told EA were going to make an announcement about Apex Legends coming to Stadia, as well as Steam and Switch. He says, hey, the launch editor here, the team had a pre-brief with EA before the conference where they told us it was coming to Stadia. We just followed up with them and they told us this isn't the case. Oh dear. The article has been updated and a correction appended. Sorry about that. We've just followed up with them and they told it wasn't the case. which made me think, I think it probably is, but it made me think maybe it's only coming 70%. But then I read the correction in the Washington Post launcher article that he's referring to here. And now I am 95% sure Apex is coming to Stadia and will be announced at Stadia Connect. And this is why, and I will show you why, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the correction that the Washington the Washington Post, too much drink, it's not alcohol. At the bottom here, tiny little writing here, correction. So this is their correction. I hope you can see that. I'll read it to you anyway, chat. An earlier version of this article incorrectly... God, what is wrong with me? Take two. An earlier version of this article incorrectly stated that the EA Play announcement included news about Apex Legends coming to Google Stadia. So what are they saying there? If it wasn't coming to Google Stadia, they go, it's not coming to Google Stadia. Their correction is not about that. Their correction is about the announcement would include Apex Legends coming to Stadia. So they're saying the EA Play announcement would not be including an announcement about Apex Legends coming to Google Stadia, which suggests that it's been specifically left out. If it wasn't coming to Stadia, they said, no, it's definitely not coming to Stadia. No, it's not coming to Stadia. But the correction hasn't said that. And, you know, press corrections are specifically worded. They could have got them sort of try and get themselves out of trouble, but at the same time, tell the truth. So this reassures me, oddly enough, that all that happened is that, yes, they were told it was coming to Stadia, but that specifically the EA Play presentation had specifically left out, probably at Google Stadia's request, because Stadia wanted to save it for their Google Connect as a mic drop or as a big moment, as an announcement of one of the key games at Stadia Connect, because it has marketing value for them to do it there. Arguably it has marketing value if it was announced here, but I think Stadia definitely wanted to have that moment. And so specifically have arranged with EA to say, leave it out of your presentation, the news, and we'll present it at the Stadia Connect. This makes me think 95% this was a snafu on the part of whoever told them, not qualifying the fact that that it's not part of the EA presentation, but it is coming to Stadia. These two journalists who were there at the press briefing but basically being told information, and therefore assumed that it would be announced at the EA Play presentation. So I think what's happened here is they missed that bit, but it's not going to be announced in EA Play. So yes, it is coming to Stadia, but it won't be announced at the EA Play presentation. That is why I am pretty sure 95%. If I was a betting man, I give you 5 to 4 on, if not even closer odds. It's coming to Stadia. Apex Legends is coming to Stadia. It will be cross-play. I think, as they said earlier, that it's coming to Switch, I think, and Steam in the fall. So I don't think it will come to Stadia until the fall otherwise. So I don't think it will be, and you can play it now. It's coming to Stadia, like PUBG was a mic drop. If it is, I think that will be an absolute cherry on the top. Bonus, bonus, bonus. My view is that it will come in maybe in the fall, September, October time, along with Steam and the Switch, personally. But it is coming. If I'm a betting man, it's coming. Anybody disagree with that thought? Anybody think it's not coming? I think Apex Legends is definitely coming to Stadia, based on what I said in the interview with Laura Meal from EA Chief Operating Officer at EA Studios. The correction here specifically saying that the EA Play announcement would include news. Not that it wasn't coming, that there just wouldn't be news about it at this particular conference. Jerry Lennon says, I think it's more marketing value if it was announced at EA conference. I think so. I think that's a valid argument, but I think from Stadia point of view, they wanted to own it. I think they wanted to make the Stadia Connect their moment and to keep it back. As sort of almost yeah. I mean, I think you're right. More people watch that EA thing. But it's a small thing for EA, if you think what I mean. Like the announcement, because it's sort of what I think from Stadia's point of view, it's coming to Switch, Steam, and Stadia. It's just one of three things. Whereas when Stadia announced it, it's like it's coming to Stadia. It's all about that. So I think they probably felt they could make more noise about it at the Stadia Connect. That's how I feel about it. But I think it's very valid to sort of say that more people are going to be watching the EA presentation than potentially the Stadia Connect presentation. That's just a reality of life. But I just think maybe Stadia felt the impact would be bigger for them if they drop it at the Stadia Connect. And Stadia Connect and make it a big announcement there. That's how I feel about it. Anyway, let me know what what your thoughts are. Let's have a look at the chat. How are we doing, chat? I probably want a second. Jerry saying, I need a Chromecast for the bedroom TV. Yeah, see, that Chromecast is tempting, isn't it, chat? It is tempting. Remember to hit likes and subscribe if you're new here, everybody. I hope you're enjoying the show so far. Have your bank account ready. Yeah, I as I say, I'm not sure Apex will drop on the 14th of July because they mentioned here that it's coming in the fall. But based on the article with Laura Meal from EA, I think next year we're going to see lots of it. We'll see all the regular big EA games just coming to Stadia as normal. In fact, I'm confident that all the big publishers, Stadia will just be another platform. None of this, as long as it comes they just will. I've said it before. Next year, games will just come to Stadia as they just come to Xbox, as they just come to PlayStation. Ones that are multi-platform, I'm talking about. They're going to make them for those platforms. They're going to make them for Steam. They're going to make them for Switch. They're definitely coming to Stadia. Next year, we'll see a lot of it. But specifically, they sort of talk about. It'd be interesting. Rocket Arena. Again, here. PS4, Xbox One, PC, Steam, and Origin. Rocket Arena might be interesting. Fallen Order at Connect. Could drop it at Connect. Could do. Could do that. Where's the thing about... Yeah, so here we are. Apex Legends. Coming to Nintendo Switch as well as Steam. Feature crossplay. Does it say here? It's a huge leap forward for the games industry if EA, the largest games publisher, aside from Activision Blizzard, is pursuing this philosophy of cross-play and cross-platform functionality, basically, which is exactly what I was saying earlier. Anyway, so there we go. Fallen Order at Connect. Maybe. As I say, I'm not sure when that's planned. I'm saving hard, Brian. I'm an idiot. I brought the wasabi for the boy, then got fed up moving the CC around, so I bought another. Oh well, Dave. That's always the way, isn't it? Like you buy something and then a new model comes out, and you're like, don't. So what games? Dave Widnall says Baldur's Gate. Don't forget Baldur's Gate, of course. That things look epic. It does. It's not my cup of tea, but it does look epic. The videos, the cutscenes look amazing. I have to admit. Again, that's the beauty of Stadia. There's so many sort of games that I wouldn't have normally tried. Even on, well, I don't know. I'd always tried things on Xbox Games Pass when I had the chance, but it was a great way to try out things, and Stadia Pro is that as well. It's a great way to try out games you might not necessarily want to shell out for, and that's why I kind of love the whole sort of Stadia Pro kind of approach. I'll be happy to see Stadia Rocket Arena announced. Yeah, it's interesting because it's sort of a newish game, so it could be. I would say that's the thing, right? If we're assuming that we know there are definitely 5 EA games coming to Stadia this year, okay, and we know 3 of them, possibly 4 of them, okay, FIFA, Madden, Jedi Fallen, Apex Legend. What is the 5th? Chat, let me know what you think the 5th EA game is that might be coming. Be interesting to know. Rocket League, yeah. I think that Rocket Arena might be a good, the new EA kind of Rocket Arena type thing, might be a good shout from EA as the 5th game. Other than that, yeah, like a Battlefield game or something like that. Yeah, that's a big. If it was that, that's pretty major statement, Azadine. If that happens, Need for Speed. Interesting shout. I like that. Another racing game, although I prefer Need for Speed than my experience on The Crew. Maybe I just had a bad experience on The Crew too. I loved Burnout Paradise. Love that game. Sims. Yeah, that would be a bit disappointing for me personally. I know lots of people like it. But that's a big game. That's a good shout. Good shout, David. Not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. But it's a good shout. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's all the news, the views, and everything in the world of Stadia from my point of view. I hope you feel you've been informed. I hope you feel you've been educated. And I hope that you have indeed been entertained. Do I not entertain you? And I guarantee you, if you watch this stream all the way through, you will leave here tonight with an additional 2% added to your IQ. Guaranteed. Yeah? That's on me. Thank you. We don't have many mouse and keyboard games, David Handley. Yeah. I come from a console background. It's funny because Stadia is sort of the meeting of different people. It's a meeting of people who play PC games and a meeting of people who play console games. So you've got a real kind of mix. I am from the console background. I struggle with keyboard and mouse, despite having a fancy kind of collection of flashy gaming keyboards there for my son, who only plays it because he sees streamers doing it and he's taught himself, and he's like 10, so he's got a brain like a sponge and can pick these things up like that. I'm an old, can't teach an old dog new tricks. Plants versus Zombies. Wow, Holtz is just coming out with the random stuff. I think it'll be significant. I think whatever it is, it has to be a big game. In order for the first 5 games, that EA bring to Stadia are going to be 5 of their biggest games. Okay, which arguably Apex fits into, but definitely FIFA and Madden do. So the 5th one is going to be one of their major games. In order just, the first games they bring to the platform are the ones that are going to have an impact and, make it worth their while. That people are going to buy them on a platform which is relatively a lot smaller than existing platforms right now. So you're just going to put the ones that are going to have market penetration and going to break through, and the ones that are going to break through are the big games. So that's what I see. They're going to be 5 big EA games. If the 4 so far are big: Jedi Fallen, FIFA, Madden, Apex Legends. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a big one. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. I'm going to wrap it up there. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you feel your IQ has increased by 2%. You don't get your money back if it hasn't. Guaranteed. I've enjoyed talking all news and exciting things this week with you lot. I appreciate everybody who's come here, everybody who watches this, whether you watch it live or watch it afterwards. I really, really appreciate. I want you to do me a massive favour though, yeah? I want you to hit like. Yeah, and if you're new here, I want you to hit subscribe, but I want you to do an even bigger favour, yeah? Share the love, yeah? Share the love out there, folks. Do you know there are some people who have Stadia, yeah? There are some, and aren't even aware of this podcast? I know, it's crazy, isn't it? So I'm asking you to make, if you know people who aren't aware of this podcast, go and tell them. Because they're missing out. It's unfair on them, yeah? Do them a favour. Enlighten them. Bring the gift of happiness to their life, yeah? Tell them about this particular stream, the Stadia Monday Night Chat with the one and only Clive Linden, yeah? Oh yeah, there's only one of you. Thank God for that. Yeah? Tell them about it. There are people who watch other Stadia podcasts, yeah? Who don't watch this one? What are they doing? Get them over here. Yeah, let's join the fun. Let's make let's share the love. That's all I'm saying, yeah. Get out there, share the love. Tell your friends, tell Twitter, tell everybody. Monday night, Stadia Monday Night Chat, 10 p.m. UK time, every Monday night is the place to be. And the other place to be, of course, is 9 p.m. Tuesday on the Generation X Retro Gaming Club with the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Adam Rock Stone and me being having fun, talking games from the older generation point of view, talking new games, talking retro games, not just Stadia, talking all things gaming, old and new, going off on weird avenues, and occasionally having a guest appearance from my good buddy Clyde, who I thought did a very good job last week standing in for Rock. And no, Rock's definitely doing it, so you can't come. No, it's all right. Don't worry about it. So you can come back now. So if you missed the Generation X Retro, yeah, some people missed it. They didn't see it. Yeah, if you missed the Generation X Retro Gaming Club last week, then basically it was hosted by myself and Clyde, also known as Sue. But we're okay. He has a sort of she/he pronoun thing going on, but that's all right. I understand. We're good friends. So make sure, anyway, no Clyde or Sue tomorrow. It'll be Rock and me, of course, on the Generation X Retro Gaming Club, 9 p.m. UK time. That's me. Oh, Chase is back. He's just down here. Whoa. Hello, Chase. How are you? You were mentioned in dispatches, as they say. You've been talked about, but in a good way. So partly for spotting that Washington Post article, Stadia, which I kind of went through, Chase, that I went through, about Apex Legends, of which I'm 95% sure it's definitely coming to Stadia, given the correction they put in Washington Post, which was merely that the news wasn't going to be announced at the EA Play. Which is not it's not coming out. Anyway, you can watch that bit back later, Chase, if you want to. I'm just saying thank you to everybody. As I say, share the love. Tell them all about this wonderful Stadia Monday Night Chat. Don't let them miss out. You owe it to them if you truly love them. Give them the gift of this show. Let them know. And I will see you all very, very soon. And on that note, goodbye.